Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I have the tea. We are going to chat. We're going to sit here, get your snacks ready, get your cup of tea, and let's have some tea time with spirit. Some tea with spirit. So, the first thing I want to talk about is Epstein. So many people have come to me since it was reported that he had committed suicide, apparently, quote unquote. And a lot of people are asking me to do a reading on him. I'm not going to do another reading on that energy, but I will, address it here in this podcast or this Tea with Spirit show that we're going to be chatting about. And I will say this, no, I don't feel like his energy is alive. I don't feel like it's a cover-up. People will not agree with me, and I'm not going to call him conspiracy theorists. But, when I did my reading 4 months ago or 4 weeks, I don't remember what month I did it, but it was a couple of weeks ago. I know that in the reading, I had saw two different things. The first thing that I said on the reading was that I saw him a lot. I saw a lot of obscurity around this case. I saw a lot of deception, cover-ups, people being bought out. The second thing that I said was that he would not, Spirit said, from Spirit, quote unquote, that he would not end up serving time. Now, I didn't understand what that was there because I was like, presumably he's guilty. Well, we know that he's guilty, but how can he not serve time and get away with this? It would be kind of, and so the other thing that I kept picking up on was that there was he wanted to kind of escape. So I feel like I got into his into the inner mind when I connected and really was tuning into his soul at the soul level of what he was having thoughts while he was in custody. But a lot of people think that maybe he has people bought out and that they secretly escorted him out and placed a body double. That's the stories that I'm hearing that people are starting to believe. This is what I'm talking about, media twisting things, conspiracy theorists having a conspiracy but no connection to spirit. I do feel like he is deceased. I do feel like he was murdered. It was definitely not a suicide. This man was not strong enough. He was a coward, and so he was not strong enough to carry that out. I also feel like, he was going to be silenced regardless. It was coming. But when people would think, let's say that the scenario that he would have been escorted and he's alive still, which I don't believe that at all. But in that scenario, there's going to always be people that would blackmail him, even with the millions that he had. And to be hiding in seclusion, that's not his typical lifestyle that he would want to be in. The only other thing that he could get is plastic surgery to change his face entirely. But the DNA would be something that could not be changed. And regardless of where he went, eventually someone's going to get sick. You have to go to the hospital. You can't avoid your DNA from being tested. It's going to touch somewhere. So no, I don't see that there was any foul play where he got escaped. There was foul play, and then they wanted to silence him and they murdered him because apparently he was supposed to be under suicide watch. That's what the tabloids say. Some people say that he wasn't, but whatever the case is, I don't feel like he has when I tune into the prana, it's no longer on this earthly plane. It is gone, and I do typically get that this is something where it was carried out by the people in power to silence him permanently, because they were on the verge supposedly of uncovering the cases or getting more testimony, etc. And again, this would have been a big can of snakes, that because this, like I said, when my reading, if you haven't listened to the reading that I did on him a few weeks ago, you need to go back on that reading and listen to it, because there's just so much that I said in there about all of this and how it would go down. And basically spirit is validate, it's all validated now. When we think of the people that were involved in a higher socialites, these are socialites in power, men and women with control in this black market, this dark network or web, secret web, that they bid people, human trafficking, and all this nasty things that they do, these vile satanic type of things that they do with children, with humans, with organ harvesting, all of that yucky things, we're going to come out into light. And this was something that they are not going to be. Like, if you've ever listened, I want to just use this example, the TV show Charm, the one, with Shannon, Holly, and how there was always the cleaners that would try to clean up, the witches when Prue, Phoebe, or Piper, would make some kind of mess up, or Paige, they would make a mess up or expose magic. Basically, the cleaners would come along and would not want them. They would try to erase time or erase that event so that the witches would not be exposed, because magic wasn't supposed to be exposed to mortals. And the same thing with demons in that show, that theme, that demons had people that specifically would reround time, or that would erase those tracks, because evil could not be exposed either. The supernatural could not be exposed, whether it was good or bad. Well, the same thing is with this kind of network of people. They're going to erase people who are in their way or pose a threat to the society. And so even though he was worth millions, even though he had people, I feel like it came to a time where they felt like they were no longer going to be able to trust him, and I feel like he was going to spill the tea. So eventually this is what happened. They eliminated him. But the fact that he wasn't under a suicide watch, or he wasn't, the cameras, malfunction, whatever the rumors are and whatever's circulating in, I'm not going to go off of that. I'm going to give you the tea from spirit, and that's the tea. He is deceased. He was murdered. And again, anyone that thinks otherwise, you're welcome to have your opinion. I'm not here to defend what spirit is giving me, but rather just to give it to you. But there is a lot of stories out there, about people that have done this. They've gotten away and they have gotten plastic surgery, or they've went into hiding, but eventually they get caught. Kind of like, what's his name? Well, I can't think of it right now, but that's on the tip of my tongue. On to other news. We have Miley Cyrus and, was it Liam Hemsworth, that they separated. And I think this is coming in a shock to a lot of people, but it really isn't a shock to me. I had never done a reading on Miley Cyrus, which I will be doing one soon, and on Liam. I did one back on Chris Hemsworth, Liam's brother. I don't remember what I said on there. I think I commented about Miley and Liam, but the whole thing here is that I don't feel like this relationship was going to last at all. I love Miley Cyrus from when she was in Hannah Montana, and just growing up and having her glow up and getting into all of this. But I feel like she is kind of a chaotic energy, and she's a free spirit, and Liam is more subdued, and he also is more, I feel like definitely on a different level, and I feel like he wasn't necessarily going to hold her back from doing things, but I feel like there would have been some kind of infidelity on both their parts. And I also feel like, there's just a lot of other things. I felt like Miley didn't want to be restrained or in a long-term committed relationship. She wanted freedom, and her image is about reinventing. And again, when you think about actors and actresses like this, and musicians, that come together, these are powerhouses. Typically, it's never going to work. I also feel like Miley may be having a relapse. I'm not saying that she's on, any substances or there's drug abuse, but I pick up that on her, in her energy. And this again will be something that we probably won't hear about until there is a situation where she ends up in a hospital, or, there's a lot of scrutiny and it comes out, or she comes out and says, I have issues with this. And I feel like I don't follow Miley, so I don't know much about it. I know that she had like a new song or video come out, but that's all I know. But I know that eventually she's going to have to come out and fess up to this, that she still is having issues. And I feel like this is another thing that kind of drew them apart. I feel like Liam is not like that. He's more stable. He doesn't necessarily agree with the lifestyle that Miley is. And I don't feel like Miley was raised like this. I feel like all of this was culture that she kind of, hanging around among celebrities and people that do all these things. It changes people and it transforms people. And so that's what I feel like she's going through now. And it's so sad, that because she is a beautiful soul and she does deserve to be loved, and so does Liam. But I feel like they are definitely going to stay amicable. I feel like there is some pain on her part, but she's trying to be the bigger person. I feel like this is going to we're going to see a different type of Miley, kind of back to like her old days when she was on that ball, the wrecking ball, kind of like that, in your face. She's going to be in your face, but I don't feel like she's ready to settle down and be a mommy, and have that family yet. I don't feel like she's there yet. And with Liam, I feel like he's kind of ready for that. But again, I feel like they're on two ends of the spectrum. He's more nonchalant, more, well-spoken and just kind of subdued, and he's thinking about the future, starting a family, because none of them are getting any younger. Miley's not a young person anymore, like super young. She's kind of in her, I don't know what, 20s, I don't know, but she is she's aging. I mean, we're all aging as we go on. So I wish them both the best, but I feel like, they had their shot, they had their chance, and they were like twin flames. This was a perfect scenario of a twin flame relationship, platonic in every way, romantic, in every way, so loving in the beginning, but then it kind of transforms, and it's no longer what we expected it to be. On to the other thing. I feel like I'm a news reporter here, giving some tea with spirit, giving spiritual insight, psychic insight, while I'm chatting with y'all. I just love doing these kind of let's chat type of shows. So the next thing I want to talk about is Miss Wendy Williams. She is back in the headlines, according to TMZ, which is not something that I can really trust as a source, but it is there. There is talks that she is upset, or she's defending herself that, her show's not going to end after this, next season or whatever, after that contract is up. She's going to be continuing to have more episodes. Like, she calls the shots, and I honestly, I have a lot to say about that. I love Wendy. I know that she's been through hell and back. She is just, she's an amazing person, even though she has her flaws, and, she is judged very harshly for what she kind of dishes about celebs and whatever. But you have to understand, this is her business. That is the line of business that she's in. She is almost like a talk show, personality. Kind of like, it reminds me of, Joan Rivers. So, she's kind of like that in personality wise, kind of eccentric, kind of, bougie in some ways. I love you, Wendy, if you're listening to this. But I honestly feel like, the network is not happy with her. And that's what I get. I feel like, yes, her, she's back and everything is like back to normal. But I see more slip ups from her. I see her health coming to the forefront. This, like I said, this is all very stressful. I don't believe what this being put on TMZ. I don't believe that at all. I feel like there is a change that she is craving. I feel like out of security and fear of change, she may be trying to stay as long as she can. But like I said, the network is kind of tired. I don't know what her ratings are for the show this year, because there are some ratings that people can find on the show itself, but I feel like it's not doing so well like it used to be. I feel like the Ellen show is doing much better, and some other shows that are out there. But for Wendy, I feel like she's going to stick to her radio and filmmaking or documentary, whatever she was doing, those would be good avenues for her. I kind of feel like she needs to give up her show. Like, it's no longer her soul and passion is no longer there. Yes, she comes on. Yes, she goes through the gigs and she is, seems like she's invested in it. But on the soul level, I don't see that anymore. And so we'll have to see how this all plays out. It's very interesting because I don't see her continuing to continue with the show, but we shall see. Like I said, things can change. We all have free will. I'm not always 100% accurate, maybe like 95, 98% accurate, on a lot of things. Some things I'm 100% spot on, but it's all spirit that I'm working with, with God and with spirit that's delivering these messages. So, yeah, that's what I get from Wendy. I just get like, she is not invested. Her health is going to continue to be like, I'm not going to sit here and say and diagnose her that her health is going to decline. I don't know that for sure, but I do feel like on the vibrations that I'm picking up, the energy and what I'm able to see snippets of the future, I feel like there is going to be a cancellation. Like they're not going to give her the pay that she would like in order to continue or renew the season. And so that's where she's going to be dealt with a crossroads. She is this celebrity. She has been, been paid in the past, and now they're going to try to like not pay her what she's wanting, which is like an increase. And so again, it's about her, realizing her worth and that there are new opportunities out there, but she's so stuck to the show that I feel like it's affecting her in more ways than she thinks, right now. And being that she, is in the midst with her ex and all of this, and she's going to be under media scrutiny for a long time still. The tables have kind of turned on her from other people, her dishing the tea about other people. Now the tea is being dished about her, and her every move is being scrutinized. So it's very interesting how all of this is going to play out. Okay, so now I'm going to do an energy report. Since I didn't get to do the horoscopes this week, I'm trying to catch up with readings and also my lives that I've been doing. For those of you that are tuning in, I will be doing another live this Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to check it out. It's going to be here on my YouTube channel. Be sure to mark your calendars. But let me go ahead and get into the energy forecast for this week. So for the divine masculine and feminine, for all of you out there, no matter what your sun sign is, your astrological sun sign, zodiac sign, I see a lot of y'all right now. Well, some people, again, this is not going to apply to everyone, but energetically speaking, I see a lot of people right now in new phases. A lot of you could be starting new relationships. There's like love budding. There is this commitment on a deeper level that a lot of you want to kind of like spend time with your partners and kind of, just enjoy and bask in the moment of each other. And I feel like there's a lot more peace there. But later in the week, around Wednesday, Thursday, I feel like they're going into Friday. There is a lot of you out there that are going to be facing some obstacles. This could be around your work life, or around a group of people that you're having to defend yourself. You feel like you have to defend yourself, defend your work, defend your standpoint, and it gets draining. And so a lot of you are going to be walking away because this is almost like an icy cold. Like people that would be doing this to you or kind of wanting to fight with you they're like void of emotions, and I feel like they thrive on negativity, whether these are narcissists, sociopaths, or whatever you want to call them. I feel like they are very chaotic. They're not mentally stable, and it's so rather than you feeding that energy, it does you no good. Spirit is saying for you to kind of walk away. Be careful with deception this week. A lot of you are going to be prone to kind of like believing what you hear. Don't take anything at face value, but also don't jump to making a decision just on the spot if someone is asking you for a favor. If you are having problems because someone is asking you to do something and you don't feel you feel obligated in some kind of way, know that you need to respect your space, and you don't have to hold space for anyone longer than what makes you feel comfortable. So release those bonds and don't feel guilty. But I do feel like there is a level of deception that a lot of you have to be careful with when it comes to interacting with people in your life, people that kind of come on and seem like they're just like the best thing since Diet Coke. The best thing since a Snicker bar. They come into your life. They're very charming, smooth talkers. They have a way with words, and you have to be careful because they're going to tell you everything that you want to hear and everything that you think you need to hear, but it's going to be the opposite. And it's kind of like to keep you bound. And through this, there's some I can't even talk this week, disillusionment, and there is some heartbreak for some of you. Some of you will be going through relationships ending this week. Some of you are going to be going through heartbreaks. Some of you are going to be going through divorces. This may not apply to everyone, but there is a theme here about the heart being inflicted with some kind of pain by someone else. This could be, just like I said, the deception. This could be lies, but there is this, and I feel like some of you that have plans this week to travel or to do something or to go to an event may have to kind of change these plans, because I feel like emotionally and physically you're not going to be capable to be there. Your mind space is going to be somewhere else. So a lot of you may be canceling plans this week. It is what it is. But Spirit is telling you to stay strong this week. Be very strong, because you're going to get through it. But at the same time, there is a lot of communication back and forth through text messages. Someone in your life is going to be having you go back and forth, and you're it's eating up at your time of doing other things. So be sure to also set boundaries this week, especially if you have guidelines and deadlines to meet. That should take precedent. Anything that is going to bring bread or butter onto your table. If it's your work, don't let, and you're getting messages and your boss doesn't have a problem with you getting text messages during work, as long as they're kept to a minimum. But this person is constantly blowing up your phone. Ignore it, put it on silent, and do your work. And if they don't understand and they get cop an attitude on you, then just let them, whatever. I mean, you don't have to bend over backwards for someone, especially if they're not respecting, knowing that you are working, and that you have other priorities, and you can't just spend a whole day going back and forth. And sometimes your friends will do that, and it's about them not realizing, that it's disrespectful, and that needs to be brought out to the forefront. There's a lot of insomnia going on with the energy of the full moon this week. It does enter on the 15th, which is Thursday. We will be seeing a lot of intense, energy surrounding us. A lot of releasing old patterns, releasing old ways of thinking, and embracing some newness, And this is a good time to start doing candle magic on love. It's a good time to start doing money magic using green candles, a rose of Jericho. These are going to be good things to kind of implement as your tools. Don't forget to charge your crystals under the moon, the full moon, the moonlight. It's going to be a very intense but very beautiful time period that we are entering. I feel like we are in the culmination of a big shift this week. And so a lot of us are going to start feeling, even though it feels chaotic, there's also some peace. So it's not all bad. It's going to get, pretty balanced going into the weekend. But this is the energy for the most part that I see for this week. So this was the Tea with Spirit show. The new version of it anyways. And like I said, I will be doing a live. If you have not yet purchased a copy, your copy of my oracle cards that are going to be released on September 9th, now is your time to pre-order. I'm autographing every single copy, not just the first 20 anymore. I'm autographing every single copy or every single order up to the day that the pre-ordering ends, the pre-ordering ends on September 9th, September 8th, because September 9th is the launch date. So starting on September 9th, I can autograph it for you. I'll have that option with autograph or without on my website. And I can't wait for y'all to get a copy of that. I can't wait to have the launch party to unveil all of my cards and use them to do readings. So I'm looking possibly at doing like an hour and a half live launch on September 9th. So a lot of good things coming down the road. I also have this Sunday on the 18th, I will be with my friend Pamela Williams on Instagram on that Sunday, the 18th, August 18th. And she is just adorable. She is a lifelong friend, soul sister, my bestie boo. And we will be talking about all kinds of things, from her surviving breast cancer to her spiritual practitioner journey and where she is at now, and just a lot of good things about magic, hoodoo, things like that. So don't miss that. Then on the the 25th, which is the 21st, I should say, I have another live with my friend Tyson Bunker, who is in Las Vegas. He is a master stylist and makeup artist, and so we will be discussing about his journey, his psychic abilities, because he's a psychic as well. He's very spiritual, and just things like that, fashion, beauty, spirituality, kind of mixing it all up. And also on the 25th, I have my friend and soul sister, who I simply adore, Laurie Sloan. She is from the UK. Shout out to my UK peeps. And she is a tarot reader. She is a sorceress. And for those of you that are asking what's a sorceress, it's a fancy word for witch, but also it goes beyond that. She's like a mystic, and she's just amazing. And I respect her and just adore her, love her. And I can't wait to sit down with her and talk about, magic, also talk about her tarot readings, and just all kinds of things, that her journey, etc. And that's what I'm bringing on. I'm bringing on some new people. And so those of you that have been asking, why haven't I, been doing a lot of the horoscopes? I don't know at this point if I'm going to do the weekly. I am definitely doing the monthly, but I think I will be doing the weekly still. I will be doing energy reports weekly. It just depends on that weekend. I usually do the filming of my weekly horoscope forecast on the weekends on Sunday, but some I'm going through this illness that I've talked about with y'all, and I'm feeling good. I'm taking good care of myself, but there's some days I just don't feel feel that great to be filming that, because it does take up a lot of talking, and it does take up about 30 to 40 minutes sometimes, depending on the the length of the horoscopes, what are the spiritual messages for that week. So I don't think I'm going to discontinue my weekly horoscopes. That's a staple of mine. But if I do skip a week, I apologize in advance, and I know that a lot of you look forward to that, but that's why I do the energy reports, kind of like to be on this, kind of give you like a synopsis, since y'all didn't get that horoscopes. But I know that I love you, I adore you all, my rays of light. We are at 25,900 subscribers and counting. I will have another giveaway once we hit 26,000. So I'm just so grateful to all of you. Please continue to share my videos onto your forums. Tag me if you can. Tag people here on YouTube, invite them, send them a link to my video, etc. The more exposure, the better. And again, I'm just so appreciative to all of you. Blessings and love and light. Have an amazing, amazing week ahead, and have a beautiful day or night wherever you are in the world.